Hello, I'm Ltta. I am an environmental engineer and member of IKEA. The topic of my presentation is global warming, a greenhouse effect. Unfortunately, I could not be with you, and for this reason, I recorded my presentation. First, what does global warming mean? Global warming occurs when air pollutants collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. Normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants, which can last for years to centuries in the atmosphere, trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. What is the greenhouse effect? In a greenhouse, sunlight enters and heat is retained. The greenhouse effect describes a similar phenomenon on a planetary scale, but instead of the glass of a greenhouse, certain gases are increasingly raising global temperatures. Climate change is one of the most important challenges of our time. Its impacts are felt across the globe, affecting people, nature, and the economy. To mitigate climate change, we need to reduce global emissions of greenhouse gases significantly. Translating this overall objective into concrete measures requires understanding a complex system linking emissions from different sources to national and regional impacts, global governance, and potential co-benefits. Scientists already have documented the impacts of climate change, which are the following. First impact is ice melting, especially at the Earth's poles. This includes mountain glaciers, ice sheets covering West Antarctica and Greenland, and Arctic sea ice. Second, much of this melting ice contributes to sea level rise. Global sea levels are rising 3.2 millimeters a year. The rise is occurring at a faster rate in recent years and is predicted to accelerate in the coming decades. Third, rising temperatures are affecting wildfire and their habitats. Fourth effect is that as temperatures change, many species are on the move. Some butterflies, foxes, and alpine plants have migrated farther north or to higher, cooler areas. Fifth is the precipitation that has increased across the globe on average. Yet, some regions are experiencing some more severe drought, increasing the risk of wildfires, lost crops, and drinking water shortages. In addition, other effects that could take place later this century if warming continues are sea levels are expected to rise between 26 and 22 centimeters or higher by the end of the century. Hurricanes and other storms are likely to become stronger. Floods and droughts will become more common. Less fresh water will be available since glaciers stores about 3/4 of the world's fresh water. The main causes of climate change are, first, generating power. Generating electricity and heat by burning fossil fuels causes a large chunk of global emissions. Second, manufacturing goods. Manufacturing and industry produce emissions mostly from burning fossil fuels to produce energy for making things like cement, iron, steel, electronics, plastics, clothes, and other goods. Third, cutting down forests. Cutting down forests to create farms causes emissions, since trees, when they are cut, release the carbon they have been storing. Since forests absorb carbon dioxide, destroying them also limits nature's ability to keep emissions out of the atmosphere. Deforestation, together with agriculture and other land use changes, is responsible for roughly 1/4 of global greenhouse gas emissions. Fourth, using transportation. Most cars, trucks, ships, and planes run on fossil fuels. That makes transportation a major contributor to greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide emissions. Fifth, producing food. Producing food causes emissions of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases in various ways, including through deforestation and clearing of land for agriculture and grazing, digestion by cows and sheep, the production and use of fertilizer, and minor for growing crops, and the use of energy to run from equipment or fishing boats, usually with fossil fuels. 6. Power buildings. Globally, residential and commercial buildings consume over half of all electricity. As they continue to draw on coal, oil, and natural gas for heating and cooling, they emit significant quantities of greenhouse gas emissions. Growing energy demand for heating and cooling, with rising air conditioners ownership as well as increased electricity consumptions for lighting, appliances, and connected devices, can contribute to a rise in energy related. 7th, consuming too much. Your home and use of power, how you move around, what you eat, and how much you throw away all contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. We run out of time, and it's time to act in order to avoid the worst case scenarios. Thank you so much.